Hi, good evening, Issa.
Okay.
How are you?
Good, good. I'm fine.
Yeah, here we are. We're gonna do an interview,
Interview.
no, for Wartilyo. So
Mm-hmm.
first of all, congratulations
Sure.
for you being the champion of the recently
Thank you.
concluded
Thank you so
Rubicon
much.
tournament, which both of us participated in. Unfortunately for me, I didn't win,
Mm-hmm.
and then you. Even
Oh,
though you're not planning to win any game, you became the champion
champion.
of the whole tournament. No? So, to start the interview, no, again, congratulations. Well, maybe you can walk us through your preparation. No? So, did you do any practice before heading into the game? What did your preparation basically look like?
Okay. To be honest, I was so lazy to practice and even play games. When you remember, you always insisted for me, let's play games, let's practice, let's memorize this one. But yeah, it was quite the quite busy days ahead of the game. But I think one of the most important preparation heading into the game was the one wherein you invited me to go to Estancia in Whistle Toys Cafe.
Yeah, maybe just to give background to the viewers now. Before when we signed up for the interview,
Mm-hmm.
I was actually really into the tournament. I really wanted to win.
Yeah,
And then I just tagged along my girlfriend Isa here, no,
to
to yeah,
experience.
to play with me so that we can both enjoy the game together. But she was really stubborn. She doesn't want to practice. I've been preparing the mat every day
Everything.
for us to play, but she really doesn't
Listen.
want to play with me.
Yeah.
But luckily, I was able to contact the champ
Yeah,
Zami,
Zami.
no, and given that he used to play Daughters of Khaine, I thought that it would be the perfect match, no, for him to coach my girlfriend. For me, I was also coached by Eric, one of the admirals out there, no,
He
who's
was
one
so
of
good.
the
Yeah.
KO players that you
Yeah.
had the chance of
To play
playing
with.
against, and
Yeah,
you
it was
won
so
against the
it
tournament,
was
right? I mean
more of
that
luck.
game.
Yeah, more of luck, and also there was Coach Zami teaching me on how to go through the thinking process of the game and how to really
Yeah,
maximize the army.
I even remember that when we were playing together, that you can't even remember the prayers. You only
True.
have one prayer, and you can't even
Two
remember.
prayers.
No,
Just one.
basically the other one is not a prayer, it's an ability. But
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
we we
Fine.
we digress, no. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we've been playing a couple of games here at the condo, but I think our preparation, especially for you, was when
Mm.
we played in Whistle Toys
Yeah.
Cafe,
Yeah, that
and
was.
when we found out that their what do you call this, the cheese sticks of that cafe is really
Mozzarella,
good, the
yeah.
mozzarella.
That's
Yeah.
my
Anyway,
favorite. Okay,
going
okay.
back.
Going back to the game.
So during the tournament, no, so you were able to play against Sir Jerome, who was playing Seraphon,
Yeah.
myself, who's playing Karajan
Second game.
Overlords, and then of course the final table, or the championship table, against Chris, no, who is really a tabletop war gamer, no.
Mm-hmm.
So among the three battles, no, which one was the most memorable for you?
Well, of course, the last game because it was the hardest. It was the most intense, and I was also pressured because I just didn't expect for me to end up to the championship table because at first I just really wanted to have a great time, like enjoy meeting new people, like see what are the armies out there. But the last one was like it's all or nothing. Like you're here, you have to do your best. So I was so pressured into that last game.
Yeah, actually, even before going to the game, we were discussing amongst ourselves, what's our goals, no,
Mm.
for this tournament. And she specifically said that actually doesn't want to
Play.
play.
Yeah, I wanted to back out.
I
I wanted
forced
to
her
back
to push
out.
through, and then she ended up going to the final table and
That
even
was
defeating me during the second round. No.
pure, like I think majority of it was pure luck. Like I was so lucky with my rolls
Yeah,
and
remember the one when we were playing against each other, when you did a forward to victory, meaning
yeah.
you failed the first
Yeah, I
charge roll,
failed. Yeah.
and then I believe it was an 8 inch or 9 inch roll, and then
True. That
you
was
got it on the
yeah,
second try.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, you
That
basically wiped out my army.
yeah, that was a pure lucky dice. And then like like around before that, I was already thinking about conceding. Like, okay, this is like the end of my army. I'm gonna give.
Yeah, because we're playing cat and mouse, right?
Yeah.
You try. I think you spent like 4 rounds chasing me
Me.
across the board
So I wasn't
until
able
the
to get
until the fourth or the fifth
fifth
round, where
round.
you eventually was able to catch up, no, and basically decimated my army. Yeah, and fortunately, my game against I believe it was Paolo, if I remember his name right now. I hope I got that right. Luckily, our game ended no pretty quick. He dominated me, no, so I was able to catch your game, the final moments of your game, no. Yeah,
Oh.
when you were
Yeah.
stuck between two boulders
Yeah,
and you
two
cannot get
boulder-
around
Yeah.
to go to
It was
Chris's
too
army.
narrow because we discussed like way into the last round that okay, this is an unpassable terrain if that's
Yes,
the correct.
and
I
why did you agree to it?
I just said okay, that's an unpassable terrain, and then I didn't know that it was so crucial for me, especially during the last
Yeah.
round.
Her cauldron, hag queen on cauldron was, it barely fits the crevice between the two,
Yeah, barely.
two boulders, and then but you found a way. You went
Yeah,
around it, and
around
then
it.
you were able to reach.
And it's quite far. In terms of inches, I don't know. I need like an 8 or a 9. So the probability is on the steep side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe it was. Yeah, I believe it was an 8 and a 9, and you were able to get it. And then, I believe, if I remember correctly, the points are quite close.
Yeah.
That us, the audience, know that for you to be able to win is to basically deny Chris his grand strategy, which is to keep one of his heroes alive. And then, I'm not sure if you were aware of that.
Actually, I was so overwhelmed with the point system. I don't know what to do, but like just to defeat the army.
Yes, because I remember when Zami, which was the TO that time, no, was asking you how do you want to divide your attacks, and then your first answer was to just
attack one.
kill one unit, and then there was one unit and a hero, no, and
Yeah.
then you initially decided to go for the battle line unit.
Yes.
But what made you change your mind?
Well, like I was thinking that if I didn't kill both,
Yeah, because I remember the battle line unit has only one wound left, and
Yeah.
you have like a million attacks that you can
Yes.
divide between the two.
well, first of all, I have this slay that general, or maybe broken rank. So I really wanted to get the objective. So I was so scared. I need to put all of my attacks in this single unit with one wound. But like moving forward, I was thinking now, oh well, if I didn't kill the other one,
Yeah,
this
because
is-
you have 2 lives left,
yeah,
right?
I only have 2 lives left, and this is just one unit of a hag queen, and then all
And
of
then
my
basically
units,
you're
yeah.
done.
So
Yeah.
there. So it took me like so much time to think on how to divide it. So I was like, this divide it like that. And then I think one of the most favorable is basically they told me that my one attack can reach 2 inches. So that's the only attack that can reach
the
that
hero.
one.
Yeah.
So that's the most that I can give to the other hero. So I went for that one.
Yeah, so I believe that's one of the memorable
Well,
moments that you had, no?
Yeah.
So let's talk about more on your list, no, what you
Yes.
brought. Actually, to give you a background, Issa here plays Daughters of Khaine, and then she is used to playing with Morati Kane and the Shadow Queen.
Yeah. The Shadow
So
Queen.
her usual list is to use the bow snakes rather than the spear snakes. But in the tournament, you decided to bring 2 units of reinforced spear snakes, right?
Yes.
Along with 1 unit of elves and the
The
Hag
Hag
Queen on
Queen
Cauldron.
Cauldron.
So what made you decide on going for that list instead of a list full of bow snakes?
Actually, you're the one who convinced me that it's a better option. And then I was only a believer after I saw it with how I played during our, what do you call it?
Our
Match.
playtest,
Yeah,
the
our
playtest
playtest.
during our time playing with Zami and Eric
Yeah.
in Little Slice. Yeah, actually, it was the tip came from your coach Zami.
Yeah,
he said
he's
that
really good.
in 1K and without the Morathi and the Shadow Queen, the spear snakes is more superior than
Yeah.
the bow snakes because with I believe with Morathi, the bow snakes can shoot during the hero phase and shoot
yeah.
again during the
During
shooting
the
phase.
shooting phase.
But since you can't
And
play Marathi, you
with
cannot do that.
1K, yeah.
Yeah, in
With
1K because it's not allowed,
Uh,
right?
mhm,
But the spear snakes are pretty good, right? They have a lot of attacks,
true.
and then you have
My
this.
favorite one, the turn into crystal.
Yes, the ability
Yeah.
turn into crystal, which pretty much do a gazillion mortal
The
wounds
on a 2
on a 2
plus.
plus, right?
So the probability is
And
just almost
on
always
top of
there.
that, you also have this ability wherein you give exploding sixes. I forget
Oh
the
yeah.
name. What's the name of that?
Catechism of Murder.
Catechism of Murder,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Exploding sixes.
which is pretty strong,
Mhm.
especially once you get near your opponent, right?
Correct.
So
Yes.
it was actually a pretty good list. To give context, when I was playing against her, she never I didn't give her a chance to attack, but I did a mistake wherein I gave her a slight chance to be able to catch up to me,
Slight.
like a 28% chance, and she hit it. And once she did, she basically destroyed my whole army in one turn. So that's
Yeah.
how strong the list of yours,
Yeah.
is.
Once I'm able to charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as mentioned earlier, you played against Jerome with Seraphon, me with Karajon Overlords, and then Night Hunt
Mhm.
with Chris, no?
Yeah.
So, which among of the three armies did you like best? I mean, in terms of how it played out, the art style, and maybe how the owners painted it. So, which struck you the most?
I think in terms of art style and even like the potential, the Seraphon. I really like the
Yeah,
art
the
style.
the dinosaurs riding dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, and then they have this type of magic. I think it's a complicated army to
Yes, yes, it's
study.
very complicated, and apparently it's very strong now.
Yeah, apparently
Yeah,
it's
but
strong.
don't take
So-
my word on that, because I'm also a munchkin.
Yeah.
I'm still a munchkin. You're no longer a munchkin. Yeah. So, well, maybe you can we all know that wargaming is a new hobby of yours.
Yes.
It's also a new hobby of mine. No?
Mhm.
So maybe you can talk more about how the process of you getting into the hobby.
Is okay for this Warhammer. I think most of the players here started from like being attracted to the
The figures, the miniatures. Yeah,
It's-
yeah, of course.
it's
Beautiful
very
miniatures.
beautiful miniatures. There's so much potential. You can paint whatever color scheme you want, whatever palette. And then, surprisingly, not surprisingly, but interestingly, the community is very welcoming. They into teaching you on how
Yes,
to
they're very very hands-on
very
and very
hands-on,
um,
very approachable.
approachable. Yeah, correct. Yeah, because we were in the same store where we met Dennis, no,
Yeah,
who introduced us
Dennis was the first one.
to
Yes.
to Warhammer or Age
Mhm.
of Sigmar in general, because I remember we were there
Mhm.
just to look for models to paint, no?
Correct.
And then we were actually leaning towards Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, that's the more popular.
Yes, wherein you bought your
I
backs
bought
of
Necron.
of Necrons, right? But we ended up playing Age of
Sigmar.
Sigmar and shelving the 40K models
Yes.
altogether. Yeah. So again, thank you for Dennis for introducing us to the game. And I hope you can lure more newbies into the hobby so that we can grow the community. No? Yeah, so why Daughters of Khaine? As a new player, was it daunting to get public games? So I believe when we started, when you bought this pack wherein it contains Slanesh
Slash.
and Daughters of Khaine, right? And you
Mhm.
were actually leaning towards
The
Slanesh.
Slanesh because of the color scheme. It's like purple.
Purples and
So it's so
pinks, I
feminine.
believe.
Yeah, pinks.
yeah.
And-
But why did you decide on building on the Daughter of Khaine instead? Aside from me imposing it to you.
Well, there's Moratti, Kane, Shadow Queen. It's just absolute artistic figurine. You can just display it at home.
Maybe you can show the guys your Marathi
Oh, yeah.
figurine.
Here, it's still unpainted, but hopefully I can paint it soon. But in terms of building it, it took me 1 day actually, so that I can just really clean up all of those edges and have a beautiful Moratti here.
Yeah, I hope you get to finish that
Yeah.
soon. No?
It takes a lot of time though.
Yeah, and then I believe your inspiration for your painting scheme is Little
Little Mermaid.
Mermaids, no? So with the red hair and
Hair.
the green
Green.
tail. Although
Yes.
they're
They're snakes.
definitely not
They're not
mermaids.
mermaids.
They're more like medusas,
Sa,
right?
yeah.
So, but yeah, actually it's a good color scheme,
Scheme.
no? And hopefully you have the time or you put in the time to
Time
finish
finish.
painting. So, well, as a new player, no, what's your experience playing with other people at least in the community so far, no?
So far, all of
Because
my
I
games.
remember you were quite hesitant when I was inviting you
Yeah,
initially.
I was quite hesitant because um I just felt that maybe they're gonna get mad at me if I forget like a specific, if you're not so familiar with it. I was so hesitant playing with other people. But when I started playing, especially the playtest, I just learned that very approachable, friendly, and then they're really there to teach you. And then they also make the environment um what's the term? Very
Approachable, welcome.
approachable,
Yeah,
welcoming
yeah, I
for
can
you to
attest to that.
enjoy,
Yes,
for you to enjoy the game, not just to be competitive on it,
yes,
but for you to really enjoy the whole game, right?
correct. Yeah, it's the same experience for me as well.
Mm.
Um, so you're a new player. I'm a new player. What do you think is the biggest barrier, to get into this hobby
I think
of Age of Sigmar or wargaming in general?
I think of course the prices are quite steep when you like
Yes, these hobbies can be expensive,
expensive,
right?
yeah, because you have to buy different boxes, and for you to be able to build
Build a
uh,
one k army or
army,
a
you
two
have
k
to,
army, no?
yeah, you have
Yeah.
to build you have to buy a lot of boxes, right? And then you also have to have the time to build it,
Yeah.
because like how many days did we build
Spend to build
to
it,
build
right?
it,
And
yeah,
then after building it, you have to paint it.
it. At the
Yes.
same time, you have to also like choose what army, like all of the abilities, because there's a lot of options. Aside from building it, you have to choose what type of, what would you call this? Like for me,
Factions, yeah.
factions, yeah.
Factions, sub factions,
Factions, yes.
sub factions.
Oh, what are their special abilities? Yeah,
Yes,
there's
the
a lot to
traits,
choose
and actually there are a
from.
lot, no, of
Yeah.
reading. Like it's like studying law. No,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
the level of time you have to really go
yeah.
into it.
Actually, we're more organized with our AOS notes than our work notes. No? Yeah. So, if you're going to meet another newbie, no, what would be your advice to them, no? At least for those who would like to get into the AOS journey or to wargaming in general.
Ask the expert. They're very knowledgeable. They're very friendly, approachable. Like they're going to streamline. Like of course they're gonna tell you to choose what army that best
Suits you.
suits you.
Yeah.
Like what are you attracted from all of the different art style, and then they're gonna help you go through it, like how to build your army if you're going to this type, right?
Yeah, and especially the demo games, right?
Yeah, the demo
are
games are
very
very
helpful.
helpful.
Yes. Before you get into the hobby, before investing your time and your money, no, maybe I think at least this is my advice is to approach like what you
Dennis.
said, the pillars of the community
Right,
like
true.
Dennis, in Centris or maybe Zami and the other WTC boys, no, and in Whistle Twice Cafe, no, to give you maybe a demo
Demo
game,
game.
right? To be able to get your feet wet without even spending a dime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that, no, will we be seeing you in the tables anytime soon? Or are you gonna
course.
join me at the tables anytime soon?
Of course, I'm excited for all of the games. Like there's so much possibilities on how the game starts, and like there's just so much what do you call this, chances or different. Yeah, no game is the same
Correct.
basically.
Yeah,
No game is
definitely.
the
No
same.
game is going to
Even
be the same, and then the chance of meeting
meeting
other
other
people,
it's
yeah,
very exciting.
from different ages, right?
Different ages, different background.
Yeah.
Different interests.
Yes, of course. And then you wouldn't know, maybe they're gonna introduce you to other hobbies like
Yeah.
like other card games, other war game activity, more rabbit hole, expensive
Same
hobbies.
hobbies.
Yeah. Anyway, that's basically our interview for
Interview, babe.
tonight, no? So, where can we find you? Do you do social media or anything like that?
Well, we're not yet active, but maybe we're gonna start a podcast, right? I don't know. But I think we could promote
Yeah,
our
yeah, of course. Please subscribe, no, to Wartilyo,
Wartilyo.
which is basically the community, the community here in the Philippines, especially here in Manila, and then they're basically one of the better organizers now of Warhammer
Hammer.
Age of Sigmar tournaments here in
Mm-hmm.
Manila. So maybe just a little sneak peek of your
Ah,
championship
this is like
plaque.
this is like my favorite display, especially to him.
Yeah, because I don't own one yet. Yet.
Soon, maybe soon.
Anyway, thank you, Isa, for your time,
Thank
and
you,
thank you,
Ra.
viewers, no, for giving the time to watch this interview.
All right. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.